Hey guys, Aaron Kupitz, personal trainer at Functional Aesthetics CC. So in this video, I'm just going to go over a quick recap of some of the training that I've been doing after my shoulder injury. So was this on Thursday? I went into the clinic, got my shoulder assessed. Luckily, good news is I do not have a rotator cuff tear. There is some inflammation and irritation in the supraspinatus muscle, so that top muscle in the rotator cuff here that helps with that external rotation. So that kind of explains why some of the movements out here and like internally rotating and stuff like that gives me a lot of pain. So I still can't do that a lot. I can do a slight amount. Actually today I was able to do lateral raise with the right arm here with 10 pounds. A few days ago I was able to do it with 8 pounds. Now I'm up to 10 pounds, so it's good that some of those structures are calming down a little bit. What they did find though was that I probably have a labrum tear. So basically a labrum, the labrum is part of your shoulder joint, which if you know about the shoulder joint, so your shoulder blade and the top of the basically, so your shoulder blade and your collarbone actually help to form what is called the gleno, and then also the humerus, the top of the humerus or your upper arm bone, help to form what is called the glenoid humeral joint. So at the end of your shoulder blade is a little depression in the end of that called the glenoid fossa. And the head of the humerus basically articulates against that, but it's a really shallow depression there, so it would be easy for it to slide off. So what the labrum does is basically a ring of cartilage that deepens that socket. It would be like if you had a golf tee, right, and then you set like a washer on top of it, and it would basically make it so that that hole is a little bit deeper and wider so that the golf ball has more of a place to rest on. That's essentially what it does. It helps to maintain the pressure in the joint and more stability in the joint. So that's basically what happened. However, from some of my research that I've seen, a lot of times these labrum tears are actually caused as a result of either just aging, getting older and stuff, but I'm only 37, so that's not a huge concern there. Also, overuse in the gym with certain exercises. And then the other one is if you have traumatic injury and you injure some other structures in the joint, then it puts more stress on the labrum, and then the labrum can tear. So I'm not sure at this point what one of those exactly it is, but I found some ways in my training to kind of work around that issue, because obviously I can't do like a lot of pressing exercises like bench presses, shoulder presses. I can do some pull-ups, but not a whole lot of them. And actually I found that if I do the pull-ups and I retract, or actually not retract, but depress my shoulder blades, so bring it, basically shrug them, do like a reverse shrug and shrugging them down. So the closed pack position for the shoulder joint is basically external rotation all the way up like this. And that's basically where it's in its tightest position. And so if you here, shrug it down, and then with it retract or depressed, then start driving your elbows and pulling yourself up. Not only do you engage more of the lower trapezius, which helps you perform the movement, but you also help to alleviate some of that pain that can be happening from the instability of a torn labrum. So getting into this video, basically what I was doing, I'm going to be doing some preacher curls, but unilaterally, so instead of using both at the same time. That way I can keep track of what one arm is doing as opposed to the other arm. Also with that support of the bench, you're using a little bit different muscles, which is the main purpose of the preacher curl, as opposed to, because all the different types of curls hit different heads in the biceps and from different angles, and also in the brachialis. But hitting it like that, when you perform a normal biceps curl, your arms start to come forward a little bit like this, right? And so the shoulder, or even if you keep it back, but the shoulder assists in the first little part of the movement, you know, so in that flexion as you're bringing your arm up, and then the biceps takes over. So to kind of eliminate that as much as possible and not put a lot of strain on the shoulder, even though it is more lateral type shoulder issues going on here, I basically was doing the preacher curls, and that seemed to help out a lot and not put as much strain on my shoulder, so that I could still get blood flowing through the area as well. Light, high rep barbell shrugs, and that actually seemed to help with the shoulder joint actually. So I mean, all these muscles are important. You know, it's not like some exercises get a bad rap because they get overused, or we tend to develop muscular imbalances in these areas because of our jobs and our lifestyles outside of the gym. And so then we go to the gym, we start doing them, and we create muscular imbalances, which then further create injuries later on down the road. But that doesn't mean that you should never train them. It just means that you should balance that out with other training and maybe spend a little less time on things like shrugging and biceps curls and bench presses, and more time on things like rowing and shoulder depression, and with like scapular rowing and things like that, and also like scapular push-ups. So, did a little bit of that, and then also some mobility work. Figure when you're injured, it's a great time to work on other areas that maybe you weren't spending as much time on, because they're not quite as fun to do, but they're also important. So, been blabbing for a long time here. Going to cut to the video. Maybe jump in there every once in a while and kind of put in some pointers on why I'm doing certain things. But hope you enjoy it, and hope you can get some insights for your training. See you on the flip side. guys, that concludes the video. Again, just kind of going over those things. Using the preacher curl to basically relieve that stress on the shoulder because I don't have to do the flexion to initiate the movement there. Doing the shoulder, the barbell shrugs because I haven't been doing them in a while to help kind of balance out that shoulder joint a little bit. Surprisingly, it actually did help make it feel a little bit better. Felt some things kind of settle down in a place while I was doing it. Actually, too, if you do have tight trapezius muscles, you might think, oh, this is going to over-tighten it. And yes, if you do that to the exclusion of other things, it can. However, sometimes doing a lot of something until you fatigue that muscle and then following it up with some stretching is actually a good way to relieve the tension in those muscles because you fatigue them first, and so they're less resistant to any stretching that you might do afterwards. Going on after that, working on just some mobility exercises, which are all good exercises, but I'm not going to go into much detail on that because that's outside of the scope of this video. Anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you'd like to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button here in the lower right hand corner of the screen. And if you have anything to add to this video, any comments, insights, or anything like that, make sure you leave your comments below. If you'd like to see me do a video on any sort of health or fitness related topic, sending me an email at ContentRequestsFAEC@gmail.com. Again, that's ContentRequestsFAEC@gmail.com. The address is down there in the description below this video, and we'll see you all next time for more health and fitness related information. Thanks guys for watching.